Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are here, you're probably looking to boost your English speaking skills, and let me tell you, you've come to the right place. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your fluency, today I've got some powerful tips that can make a real difference. Now, learning a new language can be a challenge, but it's also an incredibly rewarding journey. I've been there too, and I know how frustrating it can be when the words just don't come out right. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll have a toolkit of practical tips that will help you speak English more confidently and naturally. So grab a notebook, get comfy, and dive into these 6 essential tips that will take your spoken English to the next level. Now let's look at 5 essential tips that you can use to improve your English. The first one is practice speaking every day. Now imagine chatting with a friend and one of you says, "Hey, the best way to get better at anything is to do it right." Well, the same goes for speaking English. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. Try to talk in English every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. You could start by speaking to yourself, like narrating what you are doing, or trying having a quick chat with a friend who's also learning English. The main pointers that you can keep in mind for speaking English is the first one is talk to yourself. It might sound strange at first, but talking to yourself in English is a fantastic way to build fluency. You can start by narrating your daily activities, things like I am making breakfast or I am going out for a walk. This habit helps you think in English and soon the words will come more naturally. Plus, there is no pressure since you are only speaking to yourself. The second one is find a language buddy. Having someone to practice with can make a big difference. You could find a friend or join a language exchange program where you can practice English with someone who's learning your native language. This way, both of you will benefit. You can correct each other's mistakes, share new vocabulary, and even learn about each other's cultures. And the third one is join online speaking groups. Thanks to the internet, you can connect with people around the world. You can also trying to improve their English. Join online forums, social media groups or platforms like language exchange apps where you can chat with others. This not only gives you more practice but also introduces you to different accents and different ways of speaking. The second important tip is listen actively to English content. Let's imagine a scenario where you are chilling and watching your favorite TV show. It can be any show that you're watching, and you think, you know what? Watching English shows or listening to English music isn't just fun, it's super helpful. But here's the trick, don't just listen, really pay attention to how the words are being pronounced, how sentences are being structured, and the kind of slangs or phrases that people in that content are using. It's like picking up the rhythm of that language. What you can do in this regard is watch the subtitles. Subtitles are a great way to bridge the gap between spoken and written English. When you watch a movie or TV show with English subtitles, you can see the words as they are being spoken. This will help you understand the pronunciation, the context of certain phrases, and how sentences are formed. Over time, you'll notice patterns and common expressions that will boost your speaking skills. The second is mimic what you hear. One of the best ways to improve your pronunciation is to mimic native speakers. When you hear a sentence or phrase that sounds interesting, pause there and repeat it out loud. Try to copy the accent, the rhythm, and the emotion behind those words. This practice helps you internalize the flow of English and make your speech much more natural. The third one is diverse content. Don't limit yourself to just one type of content. Explore different genres like documentaries, podcasts, or even new broadcasts. Each source has its own style of speaking and vocabulary. For example, watching the news might help you pick up formal language, while a comedy show could introduce you to everyday slangs. The more diverse you're listening, the more well rounded your speaking skills will become. The third important tip to become fluent in English is expand your vocabulary and use new words. Think about a time when you are learning a new word and you think, okay, so I have learned this cool new word, but how do I actually use it? Well, you've got to make it a part of your daily conversations. Don't be shy to throw in new words you have learned, whether it's with your friends at work or even when you're talking to yourself. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel. Now, how can you expand your vocabulary and use new words? Well, there are three things that you can do for this purpose. The first one is word of the day. Learning a new word each day is like adding a new tool to your toolkit. Choose a word that's relevant to your interests or something you have come across in your daily life. Then challenge yourself to use it in the conversations, texts, or even social media posts. By using the word in different contexts, you'll reinforce your understanding and make it a permanent part of your vocabulary. Then, keep a vocabulary journal. Writing new words along with their meanings and example sentences can be incredibly helpful. Over time, your journal will become a personalized dictionary of the words that you have learned. Review it regularly and try to use the words in your conversations. Seeing how far you have come can also be a great motivator. You can also play word games like Scrabble, crosswords, or even mobile apps designed for language learning can make expanding your vocabulary fun. These games challenge you to think creatively about how to use words and often introduce you to new ones. Plus, it's a great way to engage with a language in a relaxed and enjoyable way. The fourth and the most important tip, which I guess all of us goes through at one point in our life, is don't be afraid of making mistakes. Whenever we are trying to do something new, we get very self-conscious that we'll make fun of ourselves. Now imagine you are in a situation where you make a mistake and someone says, "Hey, no worries, everyone messes up." The key is not to let it stop you from speaking. Making mistakes is actually a good thing because that's how you learn. The more you speak, the more you learn from those little slip ups, and gradually you'll improve. So, first thing is embrace your mistakes. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. When you make a mistake, it's an opportunity to understand what you don't know yet and to focus on that area. Instead of feeling embarrassed, think of it as a stepping stone to improvement. The more comfortable you become with making mistakes, the faster you'll learn. And don't hesitate to ask for feedback. Remember, constructive feedback is invaluable. While you are speaking with friends, teachers, or language partners, ask them to point out any errors you make. But more importantly, ask them to explain why something is incorrect and how you can say it better. This feedback loop will help you avoid making the same mistakes in the future. And the third thing is you need to practice without any pressure because anything that you do under pressure is not going to be good. So you have to create a relaxed environment for and the third one is practice without pressure. Create a relaxed environment for practice where you don't feel pressure to be perfect. Whether it's a casual conversation with a friend or speaking out loud while you are alone, remind yourself that the goal is improvement and not perfection. The more you practice in low stress situations, the more confident you'll become in high pressure ones. The fifth and the most effective tip is you have to immerse yourself in English. The things that you can do for this is obviously change your device language. It's a very simple yet an effective way to immerse yourself in English is by changing the language settings on your phone, computer, or apps to English. This way, you'll encounter the language in everyday tasks like while texting, browsing, or using social media. The second one is travel or socialize in English, which means that if possible, you need to visit countries that have English as their speaking language or attend events where English is the primary language. The third is engage with English media. Follow English speaking influencers, subscribe to YouTube channels that have English speaking courses, or read blogs that are in English. The more you engage with content in English, the more you'll pick up on common phrases, slangs, or cultural references. Plus, you'll stay entertained while learning. The sixth and last tip that you can do while improving English is record yourself speaking and review it. Now imagine sitting down after a conversation, listening to yourself and realizing, whoa, I sound pretty good. but there are few things that I can improve on, and for this you have to review your recordings. Listening to a recording of yourself speaking can be a real eye opener. You can pay attention to the way you are speaking, and then you can easily find out things that you can improve. It can also help you track your progress. Now, keep a few recordings over time so you can track your progress. Listening to how you speak a few months ago compared to now can be really encouraging. It's tangible proof of your improvement, and it can motivate you to keep pushing forward. By recording yourself, you can also compare with native speakers. Try to match your speech with the native speakers in terms of pronunciation. You can do this by finding clips of native speakers online and practicing along with them. This not only helps your pronunciation but also teaches you about the natural rhythm and the tone of that language. So, there you have it, 6 solid tips to improve your English skills. Remember, it's all about practice, immersion, and not being afraid of some mistakes. Keep at it, and soon enough, speaking English will feel as natural as your first language. I hope you guys like this video. I'll be back with something interesting as this video really soon. So, if you wanna keep up with our videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we'll be back with another video real soon.